Hello there Pixies, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be part 2 of a 2-part series of top 10 Harry Potter characters. If you want to see part 1, it will be up in the card section, so go do that first. I recommend you go do that first. If you want more Harry Potter videos, I publish them every week. Feel free to click that big red subscribe button and the notification bell next to it so that you never miss another video. And my social medias are in the description if you'd like to follow. Without further ado, let's get into the top 5 of this list. My number 5 is Sirius Black. He's been in my top 10 males as well if you want to check that out, so I'm not going to talk too much about him, but I will say that one thing that I love about Sirius, other than him being my husband in my head, is that whilst he was in Azkaban, he had so much mental control that the Dementors could not completely rob him of his mind. He single-mindedly focused on the fact that he was innocent and managed to keep some semblance of sanity in order to get out of Azkaban. I have so much admiration for him for that. He's reckless, sure, but his mental control is incredible. And he's just a fun character. I wish he didn't have to die so soon, or at all, to be honest, but hey, it's J.K. Rowling. Number 4 on my list is Tom Riddle. Yep, you heard it right, Voldemort is on my list. He is a really interesting character. He got all the nuance sucked out of him in the film series, unfortunately, because they decided not to show his backstory or anything, really. But he's actually really incredibly interesting from his time at the orphanage and how he knew how to manipulate the children even then by being special. He understood what being special meant and how he could use it so early on in life. The fact that he's devoid of all knowledge of love. I mean, I don't think I could live in a world where there was no knowledge of love, like I had no comprehension of it. Because love is everywhere around us, and I just can't imagine what it would be like to live without knowing about love or caring about it. So he is really interesting in that respect. His manipulation skills are fascinating. He is able to read people fairly well. With Hepzibah Smith, he knew he could charm her using the fact that he's a good-looking young man. You know, he knew what he was doing when it came to Hepzibah Smith. He knew how to placate her and get in her good books. And he knows how to do that with a lot of people, so in some ways he reminds me of Grindelwald, but just without really understanding the reason for love. Number 3 on my list is Hermione Granger. She's also in my top 10 women's list, so that will be up there. But Hermione is a very special character to me. She was one of the first female characters that I ever saw that I wanted to be like. I saw her first in film, so that was my first reading of this. That was my first experience of Hermione Granger, was on the films. But after reading the books, I admired her even more, because a lot of times with strong female characters, it's like they're just walking, talking war machines and can fight and stuff, but it's not really that way with Hermione. She has her feminine insecurities. She thinks she's not as pretty in some ways. She gets scared. She does accept help from the boys when she needs it. And yet she's completely capable, very strong-minded, will do whatever it takes to do what's right. And she knows she has capabilities, but she doesn't let that be the only thing about her and pushes everyone else away. I really love Hermione for that reason mostly, and it's nice to see such an intelligent woman not shoving it in people's faces. I mean, she did shove it in people's faces in the first film, but not vindictively. It was just, I'm smart, I can't help that. Number 2 is Ron Weasley. Again, I've mentioned why I love him so much. I feel like I want to make an entire video just for Ron, but I don't know if I'll be doing that. Ron is incredibly loyal to his friends and his family. He knows what he values and he doesn't really waver from that. he will vehemently fight someone's ideals if they're wrong. He was willing to stand up for Hermione. He is the main source of sort of everyday information about the Wizarding World for Harry and Hermione. Hermione knows books. Harry kind of doesn't really know much at all. And then there's Ron, who knows the Wizarding World inside out, practically, from a practical standpoint. He's crazy brave. He will do anything for his friends, but he's also got the common sense and the practicality that the other two sometimes don't use as much, honestly. And number 1 is Harry himself. I know a lot of people don't like Harry too much, but I love that Harry is always motivated by love. In general, yeah, he can be kind of rash and reckless, but he just cares about people and doing the right thing for people. And his willingness to sacrifice himself to save everyone else, and his fixation on his parents' love for him and not thinking, oh, I was hard done by, let's just go destroy everything. Which is what Tom Riddle kind of did. He does the opposite. Tom Riddle, orphan, destroy everyone. Because I don't have a family. Harry, I don't have a family, but I'm going to love people anyway and do what is completely right. Dudley's awful. I've been treated terribly my entire life, but I will still fight for good, and that is the main reason why I can always admire and respect and love Harry so much, because he's willing to do the thing that most people wouldn't do for someone. Also, his sassiness sometimes is quite entertaining. He's willing to call people out when they say something or do something that is completely wrong, and he does not care if they're higher up than him or not. If they're wrong, and that's it for Harry, and I love that about him too. He's so brave to do that, because a lot of the time we don't want to call out authority because they're authority and we could get in trouble and it could have consequences for us, but he doesn't care. That was my top 5 list. I hope you've enjoyed the entire top 10. I did try to think quite a bit about this, and different characters came up at different points in my head as favourites, but I think this is my definitive, for now, list. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, share it around to people if you want to. Comment to me what your top 10 list of favourites are. I'd love to know, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys!